been the most accessible candidate in history in terms of the press, and yet you believe that many of them are not treating you fairly. Are you now going to limit your accessibility?
No. Look, I will say this. There are some that are really bad. Washington Post is really dishonest. Really, really dishonest.
Why are they so much
Because
against you?
they think that I, frankly, you want to know the truth, is the person that bought it has a big stake in Amazon. And Amazon's not paying taxes, and I've said openly that they should be paying taxes, and they're also destroying the retail industry throughout the country. I don't care about that, other than it's not a good thing to happen to our country, and I've said it. And they're going to be a monopoly. You look at the department stores, what's happening to them. They're going down the drain because Amazon is becoming a monopoly, and they know. And he bought that as a tool for himself, like a lobbyist. But the Washington Post has 22 reporters on me. There's never a good story. I mean, you know, I could win by the biggest margins in history, and they'll say Donald Trump should have done better.
Well,
they are a very dishonest group. New York Times is very dishonest. I mean, New York Times is a very dishonest newspaper. I would say the Washington Post is worse. But I'm not talking about they're unfair. I'm talking they're purely dishonest.
Do you
to me,
ever
that's
think
unfair.
you can go like this and just say, I'm going to just...
Yes, I do. When I'm wrong, I tell you, I can take criticism better than any human being.
You can, and I want to talk about that. I was on an airplane with you, your plane.
Okay.
I'll bet it was 15 years ago. And you were sitting next to me, and you were reading, I think it was a New York Times magazine. I have a vivid recollection. And I had already read it. It was a story about you. And I was in politics at the time, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just kind of watching you. There wasn't a grimace. Your brow didn't move. It didn't change your temperament. How'd you get so tough?
Well, it's not a question of tough. When I am wrong and they write about it, I can take that better than anybody. I agree with them. I have no problem. But when they write falsely, they write so many false things, and you understand that because I know you you did the political thing, and I know you even went against Hillary for a period of time, and I don't think that was probably allowed because she's a liar. She's a major liar. They talk about foreign policy that Donald Trump wants Japan to get nukes immediately. I don't want that. I want Japan to pay us because we're protecting them, and if they don't pay us, you have to be prepared to walk. And if you walk, they're going to arm. Now, how they're going to arm, that's going to be up to them. But I never say Japan should nuke.
What Hillary is saying about you is that you're a loose cannon. The world order is going to change. You're a fraud. You're a scam.
Yeah.
Is she picking up your way of handling campaigning?
Trying to. She's trying to.
And
she's trying to pick it up. But look, Hillary is incompetent. You know that by just look at her past record. Look at Libya. Look at what happened with Benghazi. Look at what happened with so many different things that she's done. Everything she's done. It's been a loss. So why do people support her? It's almost out of habit, if you ask me. It's almost out of habit. It's like, why do you keep eating popcorn when it doesn't taste good? Okay? It's like a habit. Boom, boom. and the same thing with her. She's a habit.
Okay.
And you know what? It's time now. I think people are fed up with the Hillarys of the world.
Trump University. Did you oversell that?
Let me just tell you, it's just crazy what's going on. So we opened a school. We opened a school that was very successful, had a lot of students, and they did valuation reports after they left. And we have thousands and thousands of valuation reports. Everybody's saying it was great. They loved it. They loved it. I don't know if you ever heard this, but we have thousands of them.
So why are you getting sued?
Because a class action firm from California, who I hear gave Eric Schneiderman a lot of money to run, who I hear paid Hillary Clinton $900,000. This is all stuff that's going to come out that you don't hear, but I hear they paid her $900,000 for speeches. I hear they are.
Who did?
The firm that brought the lawsuit
firm
paid Hillary Clinton $900,000, as I understand it, for speeches. They paid her a lot of money for her campaign. I heard $400,000 or $500,000 for her campaign. It's a very political thing. I have a judge who is truly unfair. I don't know the judge, but he's truly unfair in San Diego federally.
Why did you refer to his ethnicity, Donald?
Well, because his heritage is Mexican.
So
and because I want to build a wall. And I'm getting along great, I think, with Hispanics, but I want to build a wall. There's some people that don't like that.
The numbers don't indicate that. Do you think you have to dial it back?
Look, I have to be what I have to be. I mean, I have to tell the truth.
Let's talk about the most recent Quinnipiac poll. Your unfavorable's around 50, her unfavorable's about 50, who has a better chance of flipping the haters? Do you have a better chance of flipping the Hillary haters to your side, or does she get a better chance of flipping your haters?
I think I do, because people know that she's incompetent. People know that she can't do the job. They know one thing about me. I'm very competent. I can do the job. Look, I borrowed $1 million, and it's worth now $10 billion. And I filed all of my documents. I filed with the federal elections, the biggest filing they've ever had. And it talks about this great company that I've built. I built a great company, very little debt, tremendous assets, tremendous.
Can you make America great again?
I can totally make America great again, and that's why I'm doing it. I mean, it's lovely to be with you, but I'd rather be with you without all the cameras. I mean, to be honest with you, it's doing this isn't fun. Doing campaigning isn't fun.
Why is it that you've got the President of the United States who is coming out and basically saying all these horrible things about you? I've never seen that in history. I mean, this early on, where the guy is coming out and trashing you.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, he's coming out. He's actually trying not to use my name because he's not supposed to. You know, he ought to really focus on his job, because he's doing a lousy job as president. And what he should do is focus on his job and find out, why are we losing so many jobs? You know, the number 5% is a total phony number. It's really 20% or close to 20% unemployment. That's just a phony number to make the politicians look good. It's if you look for a job, Jeanine, and you don't find it, and you give up, and you go home, and you go to sleep.
You're still unemployed, but you're not a statistic.
You're not a statistic,
right.
Okay?
Or
it's a total phony number. Jeanine, the country is a mess. The world is a mess. We helped make the world a mess. Going into Iraq was a disastrous decision, maybe the worst decision ever in the history of our country. Number two, getting out of Iraq the way Obama did it, he didn't have a clue. And now you have, I mean, then she got into Libya. And by the way, who has the Libyan oil? I'll tell you who has it. ISIS has it.
Right.
And it's great oil, by the way. It's the highest quality oil you can get. So ISIS now has the oil that Hillary Clinton gave them by going in and doing that stupid, you know, that stupid attack on Libya. Just the world was crushing, and she goes and wants to do more. She doesn't have a clue. She doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't have the strength, the energy. She cannot be president.